One of the things I wanted to talk a bit about is the relationship between courage and crisis. Is that often we experience courage, whether it's in somebody else or in ourselves, when shit happens. Do you know what I mean? When shit doesn't happen, we don't know if we're brave or not brave. Ordinary people in crisis can do very extraordinary things. What role does courage have in our life? Are we waiting for the moment of crisis to test it? Or is there a reason why we need to practice it outside of courage? There was a quote from a dude called Wallace Thurman, who was the guy who was Martin Luther King's mentor. And Wallace Thurman said this: don't ask what the world needs, ask what makes you come alive and go do it. Because what the world needs is people who have come alive. This quote haunted me, because I'm like, I don't know what coming alive means. What does that mean? I don't know. It made sense, but I didn't know how to do it. So then I started this process, which I'm going to talk about, which is 7 years in the making, really, about how do I come alive? What is the thing? And I realized it was a moment of extreme courage. So I think there were these number of steps that I took that I think are really interesting about how do you force yourself to be courageous, not in times of crisis. The first thing that I thought was really important for me was I had to dream without restriction. If I could have everything, what did I want? Then the next thing was almost forming a line of inquiry. So once I understood what that was, the next thing was, what are the questions that come out of that for me? The next stage, which was like these creative experiments, these really small steps, tiny steps of edging out of my comfort zone, where I would research those questions. So it became this kind of almost this action learning process of pushing myself out of my comfort zone. But to do that, I needed to surround myself with people who said, this is all good. I know you've quit your £50,000 a year job. I know you've quit your boyfriend and you've cut all your hair off. But you know what? We got you. It was really important that I didn't have an ounce of any doubt, any of those outside voices in. I needed to create another comfort zone of possibility. All the people I coach from 18 to 60, everybody's worried what everybody else thinks. And so finding a way to make a fool of myself in small ways on a regular basis, oddly really helped. So I was going to suggest, if you're a woman, stick your skirt into your knickers and walk down the street. Just do it. Like, what's going to happen? So the reason why I'm a big fan of doing these processes, even if it's in small, small ways, is because this is the muscle that you will work when the crisis hits. Because no matter how you try and cocoon your life and make it perfect, you will hit crisis. Things happen outside of ourselves that shock us. The people who come to me are the people who have never, ever come out of their comfort zone. And suddenly they're forced out of their comfort zone and they cannot cope. Those of us who are practicing these things all the time, the crisis shock is less. Make those moments of courage your life. So when small things happen, big things happen, you can handle it. Anyway, that's all I have to say. I think we're really starving. So thank you for listening. And I'm interested in having more conversations with you about this. Thank you.